Good.
I'm sorry?
We can start.
We can start, yes. Mayor, I have a reporting now.
You are?
I am.
Call this meeting to order. Please call, please.
Counselor King?
Here.
Counselor Lovering?
Here.
Counselor Piper?
Here.
Counselor Price? Here. Counselor Robinson?
Here.
Counselor Shepherd?
Here.
Mayor Barnhart?
Here. Right. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Agenda is approved. Consent agenda. Claims committee.
Motion to approve the consent agenda. All items appear to be in order.
I second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve
Sorry, this is
consent
Becca.
agenda.
Oh, Mayor Jessica has something.
Before we approve the consent agenda that does have the claims, I just did want to bring one item to note that when I originally ran the claims report, the claim for the city of Whitefish was only input in for $1,046.50. We do have a minimum of $2,000 that we pay them for our building inspections. So the claim you reviewed tonight was for the $2,000. So our total amount for the claims needs to be adjusted by that $953.50. So that's just one small item I wanted to bring before the council today, before you guys approve that there is that additional $953.50. So the claim is actually for the correct amount. Just when I ran the report, it was not at that time.
So we need
I will amend my motion to motion to approve the consent agenda with the amendment that $953.50 is absent from the original claim and will be added.
So the total amount, I don't know if you guys need.
Up to 2,000. Up to 2,000.
and again, that's the
Second.
All right. Motion's been made and amended and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved. Visitors' public comments. Anyone wish to address us on something not on this evening's agenda? Now would be the time.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Roger Hopkins, 949 Vans Avenue, city resident in Columbia Falls. I come here wearing three hats, if you include my Dodgers World Series hat. But really the two that I want to talk about are, first of all, the Government Study Review Commission, public hearing this Wednesday, 6:30 here in City Hall. We will be reviewing, and the public will have a chance at that time to review the tentative final report, which right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chairman Piper, but right now it stands at a 2-to-1 vote to recommend that the voters of the city adopt self-government powers. And at the risk of speaking for one of the commissioners that has the negative vote, or the one of the 2-to-1 vote, I wouldn't say it's negative because Commissioner Nicosia is not necessarily objecting to self-government powers. Her concern is the timing of that. And is there an immediate need for those powers now? Maybe there might be down the road, but she can't really find one at this point. So she's been searching for something where the self-government powers may be appropriate for the city. But in the meantime, we'll have that conversation on Wednesday at 6:30, and it should be interesting. Hopefully we'll get some public. We've had very little public input up to this point, other than through the surveys. And then secondly, here as Vice President of the Columbia Falls Rotary, and happy to announce that Santa Claus is coming to town. Of course, we all know that his arrival is first at the Night of Lights Parade on the 5th, the Friday before the weekend. The Columbia Falls Rotary sponsors its annual fundraising event on the 6th, the first Saturday of December. and that's the Brunch with Santa event. And that's where the community is invited to enjoy food. We get a lot of donated food. We're also selecting or requesting donations for our silent auction. And just invite everybody in the community basically to come out. The funds that we raise for this event does go back into the community to support many other community projects. This is at Timber Creek Village. I was going to call it Lodge, Timber Creek Village, which is, I guess that would be just north of, what is that, AutoZone, I think? Yeah. Starts at 9:30, doors open. Tickets are $10, but kids 12 and under are free. So, but if anybody shows up and doesn't have $10, welcome to eat. So thank you for that. Hope to see you there and hope to see some of you maybe Wednesday night as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone further? Steve Greenwood.
I'm Darren Fisher. I live at 303 3rd Avenue East here in the city. And I just wanted to tell the council and city staff, I had a great interaction with one of our police officers a couple days ago. Officer Stufflebeam, he and another officer who wasn't there at the time when I was interacting with him had apparently pulled someone over in our parking lot. And that individual was arrested and the vehicle was left there. And we just had Officer Stufflebeam and I had a great conversation about just how to go about dealing with said vehicle being left in our parking lot. And it was just a great interaction where it was a nice, good human being interaction with the police officer. So I've always had good interactions with our officers, but wanted to make sure that you knew that we had a great one. So anyway, keep up the good work. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone further? Seeing none? First piece of business is a notice of a public hearing amending the fiscal year 25-26 budget. Seems how we have our finance person here. I would let her tell us all about it.
Okay, that's great. So this hearing is after we adopted the budget, one of our dump trucks in the sewer department is no longer working. It's inoperable. So we'll need to take money out of our operating account out of the sewer fund, the 5310, to purchase a new dump truck. And we're just letting it put on notice that this is something that we would plan to do in the future. The limit would not to exceed $125,000.
Right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And that public hearing will be at the next meeting. Is that correct? When we'll actually have the public hearing?
Yep.
All right. Next is utility billing adjustments due to city air and update city. Yeah, and update city staff. Yeah, go ahead.
So Mayor and Council, we've come with two issues that have recently come to light, dealing with utility billing and billing adjustments on errors in what the city has made a mistake and then approaching refunds. Historically, the city interpreted one of the city codes for the adjustment for meter error, which had a comment about 6 months is the max that we could provide a refund or an undercharge to seek that reimbursement. After review, we think that with the deputy city attorney and I and the current staff, we think that's not a good policy to have. And I think it's poorly worded and would be very difficult to defend. So the two cases that specifically we're talking about, one case over 10 years ago, an apartment's meter was installed reverse between apartment A and apartment B, and apartment A's been paying apartment B's water bill and vice versa for 10 years. The resident had been complaining about high water bills, and for various reasons, not just the city staff, they could not verify that data. But recently we've verified that the meters were crisscrossed at the home. And so we did a billing adjustment and went back over 10 years and it was about $900 overcharges. We think 10 years is excessive. However, in this case, since we're advocating that we need to maybe have a higher level of empathetic governance of the city and people in overcharging, we're recommending that we fully refund that resident's water bill for the 10 years. We think we will propose something different in a city code change in an upcoming council to have more of a statute of limitations of more of that 2 to 3 year range, where several other cities are in that range. And then we would handle exceptions accordingly, but have that as a benchmark. State law prevents us from going back and charging more than 6 months for an undercharge. If we undercharge a resident and we went back to try to recuperate that money, we can only go back 6 months, which we think is fair. But if we overcharge them, we think that should be a lot more generous in the viewpoint of the government for a government error. Likewise, we had a commercial business that in the billing system, the rate was set at thousands of gallons instead of hundreds of gallons. And so this business had been charged 10 times more for water usage than should have been. That was actually caught by one of our city staff, our utility billing clerk, who went to that business, saw how small the yard was and the lawn was, and was like, that doesn't make sense. Came back, checked the data, and then we've notified the business. The business did not realize that they had been overcharged for that value, that amount. So, and that was closer to 9 months to a year or so of time, not an excessive amount of time. But that overcharge was $4,000, about $4,000 of overcharge to a business. So we would like to provide that full refund, more than the 6 months that traditionally the city has maybe done. We will come with a city code change to provide more clarity on the difference between a city error or a customer error or a meter error, or equipment error. Also provide a clear look back time period of what's acceptable, and then provide opportunity for exceptions to be approved at certain levels through administrative. But we think that's the right way to run the city. We think it's the ethical thing to do. So we're requesting to refund both the resident and the commercial business a full refund.
Right, council, you wouldn't have any questions for the manager concerning this?
I have questions.
Please.
Okay. So in the information you provided, this customer's been complaining for more than 10 years, and I understand that's prior to you coming here, but in those 10 years, did nobody bother to go out and see that these buildings were switched and double check it, or?
The complaint wasn't for 10 years. I would say in the last couple years, the resident, but due to city coordination, the landlord coordination, and the resident coordination, all three had a play in the perspective of why it wasn't solved sooner. So, and we were finally able to connect all the dots and then get access to the building.
Any other customers that are complaining or have been complaining for the last 3 to 10 years, or
No,
that maybe we should?
that's a great question, because that is something then we address, and then the path forward, like how do we ensure that we're not doing this again? So there has been an internal control over the years of when a new account is initiated, then somebody else reviews it. I cannot say, again, also this internal control is human in that respect. So at the time that this one happened, it may have been that somebody reviewed it. I don't have documentation on that.
Yeah.
We are maintaining that documentation now. And that's, so we would have this control in place to ensure that when new accounts are set up, that somebody else reviews it to say, yes, it should be hundreds. The system says hundreds. That's something that we have initiated since I've been here. And then with the business one, that actually happened, the new account, before I got here. So yes, it was a shorter time period, but we're hoping this internal control does detect instances like this. I cannot say that it would happen and detect it all of the time because again, it's a human control, but.
But if a customer was calling saying it's way high, it's something someone's gonna look
Yes.
into, whether going on site or.
Correct.
Okay.
We have a system in place too. It's called Dude Solutions that a customer calls in. I would put it in Dude to have the water department go and check. And so there's a trail there too that would say, hey, this customer's called in before, and they're following up on that.
Okay, great. Thank you. That was my question.
Yep.
And it's similar, the other thing what we'll be looking at is adding a module to our utility billing software where residents will now have access to do analysis of their own water bill. And so they can look at their history. Right now, a customer would have to come to City Hall and then our utility billing clerk would pull up all this diagram. So for a small investment, our local citizens would have, residents and customers would have access to do analysis of their own water bill over the years.
Okay, that's great.
Any further questions before we move to a motion? Yeah, I have a motion, see?
Can I get clarification? I guess I do have a question. So the motion we're making is just for the 943.13 or the additional up to a certain amount for the 4,000 or?
The staff report has an error. It only includes the 934 and not the $4,000 for the commercial customer. There was a debate on whether it was within 6 months. It actually exceeded 6 months a little bit, so
But-
we added.
Yeah, the usage, like the time the meter was changed out, but then the usage from that 6 months. Mhm.
So you want the motion made then?
For both accounts.
City Council authorized a full refund to the customer for all overcharges resulting from city's billing error in the amount of 943.13. Correct?
And then I'll have the.
Yeah, I have claim numbers if you want to reference those.
Same numbers, okay.
Mhm.
Referencing claim number 48170 and claim number 48171. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
A motion and a second. I guess we could just do a voice vote on this. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. All right. Now we're moving into a bunch of ordinances and resolutions. The first two, I believe would be, who are the financial officer, resolution 1956 and resolution 1955, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, go ahead.
Okay. So 1956 resolution is a banking authority for Glacier Bank. This is just making it very generic in the positions at the city that would be able to initiate and do business on the city's behalf. So you'll see in this background of the accounts that we have opened, and we're just recommending that we, again, have it generic and then also at this time be able to open a credit card account not to exceed $50,000. Right now, we currently have a credit card that different departments come and check out through myself. This gives the department heads a credit card that I manage, set lower limits, increase if they need to. They perform monthly reconciliations where those are then provided to my department for repayment. It gives them the ability to then have more control over their budget and not have to do the checkout from our facility. Because we've also run into the issue where we have a couple of police officers at training, and then we have firefighters at training, and then I need to use the credit card and I don't have one. So again, this just more aligns with our growth at the city and how they can take responsibility for their budgets and having the ability to do that. So that's what this resolution is about.
resolution,
1950.
1956.
Correct.
Question
Yes.
or move to a motion. Was any of this pointed out to us in our audit?
No,
These weren't suggestions made by the auditor?
no. These are when I go to add somebody, at the bank is like, where's the resolution or something that notes who's been approved to do business with us. Before we've used newspaper clippings, this just makes it clear, I think. And then when we do have turnover in different positions, we don't have to come back with a different resolution because this is position specific.
All right.
Right.
Yes.
So each one of these departments has their own credit card.
Not at this time.
Okay.
So it would be to open an account in the resolution, like it states that we could then initiate a credit card account as well, up to like, that would be $50,000, and 50,000 would be between all of the departments. It wouldn't be 50 per department. And actually I would even lower that. Like I would give everybody maybe 5,000. And if they have a specific training, then they need to up that limit. It comes through my department to up it and then lower it back down.
So I'm kind of a little confused. I don't mean to be thick.
No.
But how many credit cards will you have?
We will have at a minimum, probably 5. It will go across each department.
And where are those cards kept?
They will be kept at the department level.
They don't carry those cards with them unless they're in use, correct?
They could if they were, because we're kind of ironing out those details, but they wouldn't be, I guess like for the majority, no, they would not be carrying them with them personally, but they may.
Carrying that with them, they had a specific reason to, not just, I mean, like somebody going home and carrying that credit card with them just because.
No, they may, but they may, it could depend. But again, like that department head is responsible for transactions that happen on there. So if something happens, again, there's that reconciliation piece, the control that it still comes to our department and is reviewed. And then I guess like there's instances, because from a personal standpoint of like having this ability in a former job role, you carry that card with you. And then, like I said, like those reconciliations happen every month. So if something should happen where they accidentally use it, they have to reimburse. And there's that thing of like, does it become a habit, or then does it become like you're looking into that and maybe taking that next step? But again, I can't say that we would narrow it down to where that card is always kept in that department under dual control, because then you get into that situation where you might not have people to access it. This card gives that ability to perform business. Like if you go to the store and then you go home at night, you may still have that card with you and you bring it back the next day. But again, you have that control every month. That reconciliation has to be done and it has to be turned into the finance department, and we're reviewing it. So there's that again, segregation of duties.
Maybe not easier, but most of those charges that are going to be charged are anticipated, ahead of time, right?
For the most part, yeah.
So we couldn't get by with just one card requested from you?
No, because like I said, in that scenario, I have 2 cards that live in the vault, but people go out on trainings and then I've had to call people. And what I don't want is before a scenario of somebody maybe taking a picture of that card and like having, I need to be able to have the departments responsible for their budgets and turn in those reconciliations every month and show like where that card's been used.
Will the name on the card be for each department, like the police department, the fire
Correct.
department? Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not an identical copy of the card.
yeah,
No.
okay.
It's all 5 different account number,
And then we have the ability, because the city, we're not the first ones doing this, like the city of Whitefish does this, city of Polson, I've talked to them, there's things that to ensure, again, that you're giving the departments their the responsibility to manage their budget, but then that oversight from our department to increase and lower the limits as we need to.
Yeah, I would have one comment, and as a old-time department head, I think it's the responsibility of the department head as far as tracking that car and having it signed out and know when it's coming back and everything else. I don't think it's any question at all about how that's gonna happen. We hold the department head responsible. I don't see a problem at all with what we're doing. It certainly makes sense. I know we've got problems trying to get receipts and everything else, and it just turned into a tough deal. So I fully agree that this is needed.
And that has kind of been the issue. We go to reconcile that bank card and we don't have you've had to send an email out to say what department used the card here.
Yeah.
Where's the receipt? So again, the onus goes back to the department.
Okay, can I have
I was just gonna say, I don't have an issue.
Yeah.
With the credit cards at all. My only concern would be someone carrying that card around consistently. And the possibility of theft or identity, what have you. I guess that would be my concern. And I understand where the department head would be responsible, but I guess I wouldn't see the need to carry it consistently.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be, but I couldn't say like yes or no. Like where I'm saying somebody may use it that day, they take it home and they bring it back, or they may so I couldn't clearly say, no, Paula, they're always going to bring it back.
Yeah, and I would think each department would have some place where they would be keeping that secure under lock and key they need to have internal controls. I guess it's that simple.
Yeah.
I'd like to think our department heads could probably handle that. Also, I think they could probably handle that card and be responsible with it. So I get that.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, the word that comes to my mind is finally we're out of the Stone Age to a more modern era.
Up to speed.
Just give Venmo. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I have a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 1956.
Well, second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve resolution 1956. May I have a roll call, please?
Counselor Piper,
Aye.
Counselor Price,
Aye.
Counselor Robinson,
Aye.
Counselor Shepherd,
Aye.
Counselor King,
Aye.
Counselor Lovering,
Aye.
Mayor Barnhart.
Aye, resolution 1956 is approved. Next is resolution 1955, which normally would have been before 1955. You're messing with me here. So I guess we would go again to Jessica's gonna explain this for us.
Yeah, so this one is not actually a budget amendment. This is just to notify you guys that we were formally awarded the DUI officer grant. And so this here, I'm adding a special revenue fund to specifically outline the revenue that we will be getting for that officer and everything that's actually related to DUI activity. So you'll see in there, in that resolution breakdown in the Exhibit A, our award amount is $165,263. Our revenue budget for the revenue that we'll be getting for our season, because this is a federal government and the federal budget starts October 1st. Of course, ours is ends June 30th. So this is from the start of October 1st through our budget ending in June of 2026. So that's where the 123 comes from. That's the difference because of our fiscal year periods. So you'll see in here, the expenditures are for the salaries and those line items tied to that, overtime, things like that. So those are everything with a one category. The 212, the 380 and 390 are in like equipment or training and other services that we have where we'll be paying for the DUI, I guess, advertisement or the things that happen. Communications. Yes, thank you with that. So that's what this resolution is, to create that special fund for this grant that we were given after the budget was accepted.
All right, any questions from the council? Seeing none, may I have a motion on resolution 1955?
I move to approve resolution 1955, creating special revenue fund 2955.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve resolution 1955. I have a roll call, please.
Counselor Price,
Aye.
Counselor Robinson,
Aye.
Counselor Shepherd,
Aye.
Counselor King,
Aye.
Counselor Lovering,
Aye.
Counselor Piper,
Aye.
Mayor Barnhart.
Aye. Resolution 1955 is approved. Moving on, we have several ordinances that are due for first reading. I believe they all entail both police department and our attorney. So I guess I could turn this over to for an explanation, or should I go to the manager? It's up to you. I'm not sure how you guys set it up.
Police chief.
Please go. Yeah.
Please, chief.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. So first we'll talk about 835. This ordinance is about ending a cycle of abuse, domestic abuse. So a little background on it. If you go to the Office on Women's Health, children, when they're exposed to domestic violence, are actually victims of that violence, whether you want to, whether they're directly receiving the abuse or not. They have a greater risk of being violent themselves in relationships later on in life. Exposure to domestic violence is considered an ACE category. ACE means adverse childhood experience. They have a greater risk of entering into a relationship later on in life that is abusive. Boys that are exposed to domestic violence are 10 times more likely to be an abuser. Girls who are exposed to domestic violence are 6 times more likely to be abused sexually. So this ordinance is about holding adults accountable for committing acts of domestic violence in front of children. And it defines what that act is under the MCA, and then whether it's seen or heard by a minor child, any minor child, and a minor child is under the age of 18, and it carries a penalty of not less than 2 days in jail and up to 15 and a $500 fine.
All right. Council, you have questions for the chief on this?
I think it's great.
Seeing none, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
What other departments in our area have this type of an enforcement action?
Nobody, sir. Mr.
So
Mayor,
we're
this
the
is
first.
mostly considered domestic violence under the MCA is only a sentencing guideline, or I'm sorry, committing acts of domestic violence are only considered when it comes to sentencing if the children are exposed to it. There's no formal crime associated with that exposure as I'm proposing here.
And the city attorney has looked at this as it seems how we're the very first.
Yeah, well, we have a city of general powers, and under Article 11 of the state constitution, we have all the powers implied or stated in law. And one of our chief powers is a police power to protect the health, safety, and welfare of its residents. And children are one of the most important aspects of our community. And I think the science and studies is pretty irrefutable as to the effects of domestic violence in front of kids.
So this
And I
is,
think it goes to the charge of partner family member assault
Absolutely.
as well, Chad,
Yes.
you know, and it assists our prosecutor in following through with those charges of partner family member assault. And because if a child is present, doesn't matter if we run into the difficulties that we typically encounter, which is oftentimes getting the spouse to testify, there's still going to be a charge assessed against that perpetrator.
so this shows us that we have a way to use existing state law and statute and create it and bend it and use it instead of without having self-governing powers. We're following the law that is allowed.
Power that's implied by law and constitution.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're not wandering into that, because I know we do have quite a bit of latitude as long as we
Yeah.
go with the MCA. So
Yeah.
that's the only question. Anybody else have a question?
I just want to say bravo. thank you for bringing this to the attention and considering this, so.
Thank you, Council President.
All right, I have a motion, please. This will be on the first reading of ordinance 835.
I'd make a motion to approve first reading of ordinance 835.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve on first reading ordinance 835. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved. Moving on, we are looking at first reading ordinance 836. Again, we'll go to the police department, the police chief.
Justin, do you want to take the first letter A there? Go through that because that's one of the authority, right?
We're on, I have them numbered.
1072-030.
030, okay. So this part, we're amending what it already exists to make it clear that riders, operators of these different vehicles, electrically or motor assisted, bicycle, scooter, motorcycle, or moped upon a public roadway are, well, granted the rights and privileges, they're also subject to all the laws that apply to a regular motor vehicle. So we're just making that clear in the first subsection.
Under subsection B, we're requiring that all persons under the age of 18 will wear a helmet in compliance with MCA 618.020 per N2 per MP.
I have a question. So this also includes bicycle riders under the age of 18 are required by law to have a helmet on?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Any further questions for the chief? For the attorney? Seeing none, may I have a motion, please, on first reading ordinance 836?
Motion to approve first reading ordinance 836.
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded to approve on first reading ordinance 836. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved. Ordinance 836, first reading is approved. Moving on, we're talking first reading ordinance 837.
Sure.
Again, I'll refer.
Yeah, this is setting us up to be able to put speed limits on public sidewalks and public pathways. One of the things that I think you'll remember from a previous council meeting, we showed you that video of that e-bike that was going about 40 miles an hour on the sidewalk, and the, near catastrophe that we had with that. Fortunately, nobody got hurt seriously. But had that been a person that they had collided with or anything else other than a vehicle, or somebody could have really gotten hurt. One of the things that, these vehicles have is the ability to go really, really fast. And because sidewalks and these dual use pathways have both pedestrians and pedecyclists on them, we need to set some reasonable speed limits on it. The other thing is as a driver of motor vehicle, when you're pulling out from a parking lot or somewhere in the city and you have to cross a sidewalk, you're expecting to see pedestrians on that sidewalk, not a motorcycle or an e-bike or something coming along at 40 miles an hour. So you're not looking far enough down the sidewalks to anticipate that. And based on some of the view issues, how far you can see down the sidewalk, it wouldn't matter anyway. You could look and it could be clear and you could still pull out and be struck by a bicycle or a pedicycle or a e-dirt bikes. So that's why we want to be able to set a speed limit on that. We're suggesting 10 miles an hour. Now, we didn't put that in the code, but that's going to be an administrative.
All right. Questions, council?
I have a question.
Yes.
So in the actual ordinance itself, in that section C, when it says any person riding or operating a bicycle, it just goes as defined into the code, but everything else, skateboard, scooter, all has, whether electronically assisted or not. Should that be added behind bicycle?
Should what be added?
electronically assisted.
No,
On that, it doesn't need to be because the
because
e-bikes
the statute includes e-bikes in that definition.
in that definition. Okay, that was my only question.
Yeah.
I have one quick question.
Yes.
Under violations, you have A, B, and C. A being the first violation, $50, the second at $100, and the third at $75. I guess the logic there of 50, 175.
There's an error there that we, Councilor Price brought that to our attention earlier.
On purpose in case, see if you can.
You have to do that and check it.
It's $175.
Okay.
No, I talked to him before the meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna address it when we got there. I was going in order.
Well, I think that's ordinance 838.
Okay, good.
All right, any further questions concerning ordinance 837? First reading.
838.
I thought we were at 836.
837. We're on 837.
We're on 837.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're welcome. 837.
Okay, seeing no further questions, may I have a motion on ordinance 837? First reading.
I move to approve the first reading of ordinance 837.
Seconded.
Motion's been made, seconded to approve ordinance 837 on first reading. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved. On ordinance 837 first reading. Moving on, first reading ordinance 838.
So under 838, 1072-050, basically what this comes down to in a nutshell is if you are going to be using a vehicle, a bicycle or such on a city sidewalk, it has to be under pedal power. So if we're not going to be having the e-bikes that don't have, well, they're not even an e-bike, it's an e-motorcycle without any ability to pedal it. You can't keep, those are prohibited on city sidewalks. And e-bikes with a pedal assist, you have to be pedaling it, or just obviously a regular bicycle.
Right. Council, do you have any questions?
I have one question, Mr. Mayor. So does this include, like, for instance, the pathways on Rivers Edge Park or not?
Mhm.
It does.
It does.
Paths, yeah, sidewalks, paths, or within parks.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah.
Missed that.
State correction.
Yeah, when they get to that one.
I think that's 838.
Oh,
This is the one we just want to make
Well,
sure
no,
we
it's,
state the correction.
it's 080. I think we're on the we're on the 050 right now, right?
Did I jump? Thought we were on 838.
Yeah, we're on 1072-050 right now.
050, yeah.
Yeah, 838.
I don't.
Yeah, just can you state for the record the correction to the ordinance about the 175?
Oh,
that
yes.
ordinance.
Yeah.
Just before y'all vote on it, just to make sure
Okay.
that we have one correction.
I will. Do you want me to do it now or?
Well, before they vote on 838 for sure.
Okay, so the corrections on that are under 1072-080 is under C, the third violation, the fine is not 75, it's 175. And then there is also a parental notification on that third offense as well. Those are added, those were left out.
All right. May I have a motion noting the corrections made by the chief?
I make a motion that we approve ordinance 838 with the corrections that he stated. With the fine being 175 and adding the parental notification under item C.
Second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve ordinance 838 with additions noted. Roll call, please.
This is
You want a roll call on the first reading?
Excuse me, voice vote. I'm sorry.
I know, I have
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, first reading, ordinance 838 is approved. Yeah, man, these numbers are getting to me. Man.
I
Okay, now we'll move on to ordinance 839.
Okay, 839 is what we're previously explained about the bicycles or e-bikes having to be under pedal power. And then under E, it is the electric personal assistive mobility device. We're talking about electronic wheelchairs or scooters that for somebody that can't walk.
Are
needs
exempted.
assistance.
They're exempted.
They're exempted from that.
Sure. All right. May I have well, any questions? First, ordinance 839. Seeing none, may I have a motion?
Motion to approve first reading ordinance 839.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve ordinance 839 on first reading. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved on first reading ordinance 839. And finally, ordinance 840.
Mayor, if we can, I think I know we already approved ordinance 836, but we should go back and have Chad talk about the definition section that, 836 is 1072070. But I think it'd be useful for him to just go through those definitions real quick. They already voted on, but weren't explained. The correlation between the numbers, as you can see, is bumpy.
So the bicycle means a vehicle that, as defined in the MCA under 61-8-102 paren 2 paren B. Motorized scooter means a vehicle as defined in Montana Code annotated 61-1-101 paren 48 and 61-8-102 paren 2 paren O paren I. Electronic assisted bicycle means a vehicle as defined in MCA 61-8-102 2G, and then a moped means a vehicle as defined in MCA 61-8-102 paren 2N. Sidewalk has the meaning provided in the MCA 61-8-102 2Y, and a wheeled device means a vehicle propelled by either human power or an independent power source on which any person may ride that has one or more wheels.
So those are all definitions we didn't have in our code before. So I think it's good that we have.
That's great.
Okay.
Okay.
And we're at 4-0.
Ordinance 840.
We haven't talked about that one yet.
Chad was going to speak on that one, Mayor.
Which one? Okay, I've lost 840.
Maybe just look back and. Okay, sorry.
There's a 1070. 1072. I want to make sure I'm reading
Yeah,
the right.
I think.
Do one in meeting.
Which one's
840 is 72.
030?
03.
Okay. All right, so 030. Okay. You already explained that. We both did.
Yeah, we explained that one.
Yeah. That's the one where it makes the application of all state motor vehicle laws applicable to e-bikes and all those things, and then a helmet requirement for people under 18. So you can vote on one.
Okay. Question concerning first reading ordinance 840. Seeing none, may I have a motion? First reading ordinance 840.
Make a motion that we adopt the first reading of ordinance 840.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt the first reading ordinance 840. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Motion is approved. First reading ordinance 840.
Mayor, can I make a recommendation, since we had some ordinances on e-bikes and we extensive conversation over the last couple of months about that, if there's any public comment maybe on these ordinances specifically?
So You want to?
Just we just recommend that we open it to the public to maybe ask any questions, since we did the first reading, but then public just hadn't had an opportunity to comment on the e-bike ordinances.
So we will do that at the next meeting.
Okay.
We can do that and we can have public comment on each and every one of these or all together before we vote.
Yeah, I think
on the ordinance.
batch them in a group. Okay.
So that'll obviously be, the citizens will be made aware of that.
Okay.
And what we'll have for them to be able to comment on.
Okay.
Specifically.
Makes sense. Oh, thanks.
All right. That makes sense, total sense. Reports, business, mayor, and council. Jenny,
I have nothing to report. Thank you, Mayor.
Mike?
Mr. Mayor, thank you for the work on the bicycles. If you happen to see the news in the last couple of days, a pair of young lads were on these quote unquote dirt bikes. Now, I'm old enough that ain't a dirt bike to me. It's got to make some noise and the two cycles smoke, but they were going at an excessive rate of speed and hit a car at an intersection. The lithium ion battery was so hot that it caught the kid on fire and burned the car to the ground. They got the car driver out. So they may be fun, but they're very dangerous, not only whether you have a helmet or not, but the battery itself is very dangerous. So I thank you for the work. Like I said, maybe we won't have another lad going through a car. That's all.
I had a question about the water on the road down at Fourth and Talbot. I know it's been there for years. Is that anywhere on the schedule for trying to get to the bottom of why that is happening, or could you put it on the?
No. Yeah, the city staff's well aware of the drainage issues at that corner. It's on the list with a lot of others. So we were supposed to do street prioritization, but there's some new information that came through that we want to delay that for one more council meeting. So the next council meeting, we'll be talking with the streets prioritization. There's drainage problems there with the dry well and the configuration of how it's set up. It'll be expensive to fix, and then we'll have to figure out where that sits within a prioritization of the other projects.
Okay. And then my other question was the online survey that we discussed at the last meeting, the commission meeting. I just wanted to say there were some really great questions in there. I was really happy with some of the things they were asking for citizens to share. That being said, how is that sharing that information online for people to complete? I think, is that a problem? Like sharing it with members on Facebook, complete this online survey, or is that wanted? Because I tried to share it and it got taken down.
I'm not sure why it was taken down. I can follow up on that, but no, it's been posted on our new Facebook page, our Instagram page. It was posted on Columbia Falls residents.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if there's a technical problem, but there was no decision to take it down.
Okay, because is it more than city residents you want to complete that? Or are you restricting it to just the Columbia Falls zip code, or?
There's no restrictions on the electronic survey.
Okay.
Matter of fact, one of the demographics questions, or are you a city resident, or are you outside the city but within Flathead County, or are you outside of Flathead County? So no, absolutely no intent to restrict.
Okay.
And then has been commented multiple times, we have no way to keep it just for the city residents specifically. I mean, it would be very hard to do that. So no, absolutely want everybody's input on that.
Okay,
Well, obviously on there that it says, are you a resident of the city?
yeah,
In
well,
the city limits, so we can pull that out. If we want.
the reason I asked is just because I shared it, like complete this, and then it got taken down. So then I thought maybe there was something frowned upon with sharing the survey, so
There may have been one technical difficulty on the original post that was shared. The QR code on some people's computers, they couldn't register the QR code. So we uploaded a higher resolution. So maybe when they upload the new survey,
Okay,
it may have broke some of the links of other people sharing them.
okay,
There may have been a technical problem.
all right, yeah, that's all I have.
Other than, I'm sorry, chief, I didn't mean to imply that you were illogical. I scrolled ahead.
Oh.
Sorry.
Wanted to get
Sorry.
excited.
You're getting it excited now, that's.
I was ahead of. So I apologize.
Kelly?
My only question is, will the November 19th meeting be available on Zoom?
The study commission, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Regarding the study commission, I'm just going to remind everybody that it is at 6:30 PM Wednesday here. We're going to hold a public hearing and go over the tentative report and hopefully leads to the adoption of a final report. We encourage public participation. I understand there might be some cookies. I don't know. So I understand cooking isn't the big thing. So maybe if we get cookies in there, we can get some participation. And thanks to Chris for download that link, to put the link on the Facebook thing for the survey. It was handy for me. So that's all I got.
Just for clarification, so that Wednesday night meeting, you guys do adopt your final report. That's a recommendation to the city council?
Yes. Yes.
Doesn't say that we're gonna do that.
Nope.
It says it's a recommendation from
Nope.
your board
Yep.
to the city council. Thank you.
Yep. Yep. We'd like feedback from the public on that.
Next is beach.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The only thing I have is so good.
Still red.
You got a turn with that?
I didn't know that the council had to approve the, really?
Yeah, I think once we send it to you, then they have to approve it, don't you?
It's a recommendation.
Recommendation.
So the city attorney briefed the study commission a couple sessions ago about the technicalities of that. The study commission will send it to the council. The council will then send it to the election. The council can't vote it down to go to the election. The study commission has made a recommendation that it goes to the electorate.
Okay. So what we would do is we're gonna, we would vote to accept the recommendation.
Yeah, but it'll be the study commission, from the decision of the study commission, it will go to the election, and the study commission sets the date. We'd like the election too.
So if we accept their recommendation, then that means that we're gonna have an election, another election to specifically
To go to self-governing powers as recommended.
So the recommendation leads us to another.
On a date set by the study commission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's gonna be like the next,
Yeah, I
election
have
day.
some further clarification on that when that is brought forward.
Yeah.
To us.
Yes.
Anything else?
Yeah, go Cats.
By the way, city manager, Eric. Need to pick.
Don't get into that.
Yeah, don't do it.
This is
Don't do
serious.
it. Your house tonight.
It's getting late, actually.
I'll give you a hint, there's more Montero players on the Cats than there is the Grizz, so there's a lead.
Well, go Bears then. I don't care.
Oh, they won.
All right, city managers report.
Yeah, so highlight a couple of meetings. On the 19th, we talked about the study commission at 6:30. On the 20th at 5 PM, we'll be part of the Columbia Falls Ahead 2045 Utility Infrastructure Public Meeting. The engineers that are doing the PERs will both give a short presentation and then answer community questions about our utility infrastructure for water and sewer specifically. We do have some challenges within the water system, primarily dealing with the tank and the main transmission line from our tank. But the bigger issues at a wastewater treatment capacity, we've received significant amount of applications for population density that would need to be serviced by our wastewater treatment plant. That we will have to have some discussion in the near future with the council. So there should be some good discussion on the 20th of November about our wastewater treatment capacity. So encourage people to attend. That will also be recorded and posted on the website. On the December 11th, we will be having a planning commission to talk about the utility infrastructure and our challenges we have going forward. And then I'll work with the planning commission to create a recommendation for the council to discuss on December 15th. At the council meeting about utility infrastructure and the proposed developments that are coming forward. No news on the Gateway to Glacier. We're still waiting on federal obligated funds. We hope to have an update later this week or early next week on the way forward, but we're still waiting for obligated funds before we can go out to bid. As of right now, we're still on schedule to have a 30-day bid period with an open house in late January, with construction starting in March of 2026 on that project. We'd like to highlight we're now hiring a water operator in the Public Works Department. The geotechnical boring, they have street closures for the next 3 days. They'll be doing some boring up on of course, I don't know the road.
6th and 2nd.
There it is, 6th and 2nd. And we've also, we'll be doing some testing down on 2nd Avenue East, down below the hillside to test the police department. I would like to highlight a significant amount of work by the police chief and the city attorney on all these ordinances and making sure everything aligned up. But no, it seemed kind of confusing, but they did a lot of hard work over the last several months to make sure that was done right and appropriate for what our community needed. So I know y'all thanked them already, but need to be highlighted again. For the land use plan growth policy development, obviously we had a good discussion on the 13th with the joint session. We'll be meeting this week again with the land use planning consultant and the path forward. Still trying to encourage a lot of survey participation that will help drive future discussions. We'll also be discussing breakout groups, be it with different neighborhood associations or recreation groups, businesses, builders, realtors, people like that, to get input specifically maybe from certain groups within the communities. The downtown sidewalk parking improvement phase 2 bid openings on Wednesday. So we'll know what the bid is for that on Wednesday. And then once again, construction early in 2026. And then finally, Rivers Edge projects with our master plan. We have tentative approval on a FWP matching grant for the fishing pier that will significantly help paying for the full project of the fishing pier. Once we get final determination of that grant amount, I'll let the council know that number. But the plan is to, once we get confirmation on that, we'll go immediately to bid for spring of 2026 project for the fishing pier and the different slabs. Also working signage. The Flathead River Alliance did receive a grant funding from American Rivers for $10,000 to do some signage as well as an interpretive trail along the boardwalk. They have a good plan. We'll bring that to the Parks and Rec Committee in specific detail, so they have an idea what that is. Once they get the the markup of the signs, then we'll bring it back for committee approval of what information is to be publicly presented at the park. And then people in carnivores got notified today that we get the full grant award that we partnered with people in carnivores for. That's 10 bear-proof trash cans, single trash cans, money for the concrete bases that go with those, as well as $5,000 for bear awareness signs, once again for Rivers Edge Park and maybe some of the other parks. But another good opportunity. And then disc golf course, I understand there's frisbees flying around Rivers Edge this weekend. And so they have a couple set up, and they've done some good work setting the tee boxes up and the pin locations throughout Rivers Edge Park on that design. So a lot of really good stuff in early 2026 at Rivers Edge. And then final update is we're currently have open bids for the pool boiler. We have a significant interest in that bid, and we should have a good competitive bid for that project to do in spring of 26 for the pool boiler. With that, I'll stand by for any questions.
Looks like you had a question. Anyone have any questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you. City attorney report. You have anything for us?
No, just thanks for your consideration and vote on those ordinances.
Okay, thanks for all your work with coordinating with the chief
Thanks mostly. to
and
Jeff.
getting that stuff to help clarify issues that we have run across in the
Yeah.
line. A lot of people just blow that off, say it's okay, it'll work. It's nice to see us taking up. I guess that's all. If I don't see any further business, yeah, I have a motion.
I move that we adjourn.
Second that.
Motion been made, seconded to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
How did we?